Following the heart. Now, if I'm completely honest, I used to believe that this concept was a load of rubbish. You see, I was a realist and I used to make decisions with my head based on logic and rationale. And I thought that following the heart was this romanticized, head in the clouds way of thinking that was irresponsible and unrealistic. Now, these past few years, and in particular the past few months, I have been on a journey. A journey where I have come to learn truths about myself and life that have changed my perspective. And I've been challenged in things that I thought to be true. And through that has come a new way of living. A way of living in which I hope to inspire in you today. Now, following the heart is a pretty big concept that covers many different aspects of life. But what I'd like to focus on today is the one that is most commonly associated with following the heart, and that is our purpose, or what it is we're supposed to be doing with our time here while on planet Earth. So when we talk about purpose, there's a saying, do what you love and you will never work a day in your life. And it's true, right? When we do things that align with our heart, that light us up, it's not hard work at all. But sadly, for most people, living a life filled with activities that they love isn't a reality. Why? Because even though for the most part we know what our heart desires, we also have this critical mind that tells us that it's not possible. You can't possibly leave your job to follow your dreams. There's no way that you can build a business doing what you love. And even if you step out and speak about what you're passionate about, who's going to listen or even care? As human beings, we are creatures of habit. We like to remain in our comfort zone where we believe that it's safe. And more often than not, we will stay in a situation that makes us unhappy instead of the alternative of stepping out into the unknown. Because the unknown is scary, right? Now, I'll be the first to admit that following the heart is not always easy. And I've certainly had my fair share of lessons in this department. But through experience, I have learned that every single time I have listened to and followed the guidance of my heart, it has always led to something good. Amazing, in fact. Several years ago, I had a cleaning business. It was a business that I had built from the ground up. And it was a great business, but I was really unhappy running it. I was always exhausted, I never had any energy left for my kids, and so my heart was telling me that it was time to walk away. And even though my head told me a different story, I chose to follow that guidance, and I left that business behind. Now, not long after I made that decision, I then created a new business, which was bookkeeping and financial management. And that business allowed me to pack up all my belongings into storage and go traveling around Australia for 3 months and fulfill a long-term dream. Now, it was about 6 months after that the little whisper in my heart started to communicate again, saying that it was time to move on. Except this time, I wasn't having a bar of it. I was happy doing what I was doing, and I wasn't listening to my heart telling me it was time to move on. And so I ignored the guidance. So what happened next was I became sick. So sick, in fact, that I spent months in bed, unable to get up. And one by one, I had to let my clients go. Now, after that very long, drawn-out, painful process, I made a full recovery. And it was around this time that I was offered an opportunity that I couldn't refuse. An opportunity to run a company that I knew was making a difference in the world. A position where I had a lot of freedom and the potential for worldwide travel. And so this was my perfect job. And so I threw myself wholeheartedly into this role, putting my energy and my time into this business that I was so passionate about. And that lasted for 18 months. And then I was guided to leave, and that my time there was over. And I dug my heels in, because there was no way I was giving up this job that I loved so much, that I had put so much of my heart and soul into. But life was determined to show me who was boss, yet again. And my health began to suffer. I became severely depressed, and everyday life became a struggle. And so I quit. What was I stepping into after that? What was beyond that job? I had no idea. Not even an inkling of what was next. And it was scary. It felt like I was jumping out of an airplane without a parachute. But through that process, I learned to trust, because I had to. I had to let go of this idea of what my life should be. And I had to let go of what I thought I knew to make room for something new to emerge. And I can stand here this morning and tell you in all honesty that the journey that I'm about to embark on is more incredible than anything I could have ever imagined. And so I want to leave you this morning with a quote from my upcoming book. When we hold tight to what we already know, there leaves no room for the unknown. But when we let go and surrender it all, anything